welcome to lecture 2, and my name is Sadat. In the previous lecture you learned how to download and then install AI to App Inventor. So this lecture is going to introduce you to how you are supposed to run AI to App Inventor smoothly without having any difficulties or errors, because one thing I've noticed is once the students install the app, they just open the interface and then they just get errors without waiting for the platform to fully load successfully. So we're going to learn how to run or start it successfully, and then equally talk about the interface. Right. So first and foremost, after installing the app as talked about in the previous lecture, what you do is you double click the AI to App Inventor application to run. So oftentimes what happens is anytime you run it, right? Anytime you run it, you'd have 3 command prompts loading, right? You have this command and then that command. So you have to get a message saying that service is running before you go ahead and then load it, right? Other than that, what happens is, assuming you go and open this one and then you type the address, which is the localhost :8888, which is the port number or the address which will give you the interface of the App Inventor, you are going to get issues, right? So often what you do is you have to wait to get this message. Where is this? Server running, right, before you launch this particular interface with the web address localhost :8888, where the 8888 is the port number. So when you get to this screen, what you do is don't use any username or anything, because this is an offline version. So just go to click here to use Google accounts. By natural fact, we are not going to use the Google account. All right. Then you see this next page, and then you click sign in as administrator, and then you just log in. Right, so it should give you access to the whole interface. So basically, this is how the interface of the AI to App Inventor is. We are quickly going to talk about the interfaces here. The interfaces here, and then understand what it does. So basically, when you get to your project, this is where you can start a new Android project. This is where you can import a project, you can save, you can import key stores, right? The Connect talks about how you can visually see what you are building. So we have AI2 companion. Now with the companion, what you do is, before you can run your app wirelessly on your phone, you have to go to Google Play Store and then download AI2 App Inventor. So this would work for those who are going to use USB and then the AI companion. So when you download the app from your Play Stores, what you do is you either use the AI companion, which will allow you to scan the code, the QR code, and then the app will automatically run on your phone, or you use the USB. So in order to use your USB, what happens is you are going to go into your phone settings, click, scroll down to developer options, and then you make sure that debugging mode is turned on. Now with the app installed and debugging mode turned on, what happens is anything you are building you see directly on your app. The emulator is going to give you a virtual mobile phone displayed on the screen like this, where you can equally see what you are building on it. So these are options that you can usually see what you are building in real time. Alright, so the build is where you actually compile the app that you develop, and then usually the extension for Android applications is .apk. Right, always remember that. Then you have the help for those people who would want to get tutorials, extensions, and then the rest. Then you have admin. The admin allows you to add a new user or create a new user and those kind of things, right? These things we'll come back to them later. So what you're going to do is you're going to start a new project, and then just to explain the interface of the app for you. So let's name this project SRC App Dev 1. Alright, so you have SRC App Dev 1. Right, and anytime you create apps, it flows down that way for you. So basically on this particular screen, what you do is on the left side of the app, you have user interface. Right, you have user interface. The user interfaces includes all those kind of widgets or all those kind of buttons that you can use to develop your website, like buttons, like text, like slider, like password, text box, and all those kind of things. So basically what happens is, with the development of Android applications or mobile applications in general, it contains two things: the designer side, which involves the looks or the visuals of the app, how you want the app to be arranged and all those kind of things. When you are done with that, you have to also look at the code. All right, the code would now tell us what the app should do, how one component is supposed to relate to the other component. So today we are looking at user interfaces. When you talk about button is something that when you click on, it performs an action. All right. Talk about checkbox. You have the options to select between 2 or 3 things. For example, when you are filling a form online, you see male and female, so you have to check one. So you can equally use a checkbox. Date picker. For example, when you are being asked to provide a date of birth, right, a date picker can easily allow you to just select it. We have an image, so you can equally put an image on this app. You have a label, you have other things. So these are things that you have to also go through in order to explore for your own. Now this is called the layout. So how should the layout of your app look like? All right, how should it look like? So basically the layout is going to tell you how the app is supposed to be arranged, on whether the component should be arranged vertically or horizontally. Right, then we have media, so you can equally add cameras, sound recorders, and everything, so that when you tap on your app, the app automatically calls that inherent app in your phone. For example, sound recorder, when I touch on it, it should call that feature on your phone. We have drawing and canvas, so here you can draw objects and then use it to draw games. We have sensors including accelerometer. Like anytime you move your phone around, there's something in the phone called an accelerometer. It's a sensor, so you can use those things to equally develop an app. We have social, like share and then the rest. So anytime, if you carefully take notice of apps, you realize that the share button oftentimes gives you a link for you to share the apps on other platforms. And then you have storage. So in this particular app inventor, again, you can connect database, especially if your app is going to take data from users. You have connectivity, Bluetooth, and then activity starter. So you can look at starting an activity, and then you have extensions. You can even import algorithms which has been developed by AI experts. For example, you can build an app with AI inventor which can easily detect objects. All right, but what happens is, with those kind of algorithms, you'd have to import them. So let's look at the user interface and let's see whether we can just create something small. All right, so first and foremost, we are going to do this. We are going to call a label, for example, text for the label. Let's add a text box. All right, now let's go ahead and then add another label. I know after I'm done with this, you'd have an overview of what is going, but please don't worry. All right, this is just explaining the features to you. The subsequent ones will delve into it more. Then you put a password text box. Then you have a button. Now basically, these things are very, very common. For example, when you're logging into your email, you have something like username, enter username, enter password, and that kind of thing. So you can equally duplicate one here. So this side is called the viewer. That is the side which allows you to see what you are doing on your app. Right, and then we have the component. So on this particular screen, which is screen 1, I have how many components here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you notice that under the components, these things will be listed there. So if I add another screen, I can add a lot of components there, but today we are just looking at just the basics of it. Alright, so when you click on any, for example, when you go to any component, I go to screen 1 and then I click it. Look on the right side, you have properties. Now about screen, I'll call this screen actually home. How can you do that, right? You can go to you can go here on your title, right? You change it to say home, right? Home, right? Now see what happens. automatically the name changes to home, right? You can equally align it to the center, to the top, to the down, and then all this. You can change the background color, right? Let me see. I can change the background of the whole app into this color. I can add an image if I wanted to do so. I can add an icon if I really wanted to do so. I can do a lot of things, all right? Do a lot of things pertaining to the properties. Let's go to label 1. So let's say I want to add here, enter your username. I can go down here and then go to the text, all right, under the properties, and then I input the enter your username. No, let me just make it username, all right, username. Good. Automatically changes here, username. I can equally go here, text box 1. This is where the user is going to enter something. So that particular place, you don't need to enter a text, but you can create a hint here and then say that enter user name. All right. So you realize that in most of the apps, Gmail and everything, the text box will become, there will be a blur background showing you what you're actually supposed to put in there. So I can do the same for label 2. Go and change this one to password, right? Password, and then the password text box, I can add a hint saying that enter your password, right? And then let me go to button 1. So after I do this, I do that. What should happen here? Maybe okay, so let's use login, right? So login for this particular button. Okay, so that's cool. The password and then the labels, let me just make them bold. Let me see if I change the background, it should work. Let me make it white. No, let me just make it none. Alright, so basically you can play around some of these things. The text color, let me make this one white. Sorry, white here. Then the label 1, so let me make the text color equally white. So these are things that you can play around with to have, let's say I want my app to look like this, right? So basically this is what you do on this particular page, the designer page here. So you arrange the app in such a manner that you want to see. So for example, if I wanted to, let's say, center all these things into one thing, right? Into let's say into the center. So what I do is I go to my properties and then go to, say, alignment. So I can align to the center. See what happens. And align to the center. Where is it? Here. I can align to the center. I can do a lot of things, but later we'll come back to how to arrange things on this particular screen. So basically, there's the first part of it. So when you are done designing it, the next thing you need to do is the code behind it. What should happen if somebody should click login, that kind of thing. All right. So you click the blocks here on your upper right. Now, because this course is meant for those people without any background in computer science, okay, they should be able to build apps using just logics, because the code that you see a lot on your screen is a lot of things, input text and all this kind of thing. They are just built on logic, right? So you should be able to build it. So you have a designer and then you have a block. So in this particular case, this is where the user enters something, right? That's where the user enters the password and then the user logs in. So what you are interested in here is, for example, the login. So you go to blocks, go to your screen 1, and then you see button here. So when you click the button, it has a lot of blocks here, and then the blocks tells the app what to do. For example, it says when button 1 dot click. It's understandable, right? It's English, right? It means that when you drag and drop this one here, it's telling the software that anytime somebody clicks that button 1, all right, button 1, something should happen. But let's do something here. We don't want to maintain this one as button 1, so let's rename it and then just make it login. Alright, login, because that's actually the login button. Alright, so now look at the word here. So it says when login is clicked. It now makes sense, right? when login is clicked, do something. So when login is clicked, what should happen? Maybe open a page or open a button, right? So these are things that you can insert in here and go to text and then put certain things there. So control, yeah. So when login is selected, for example, maybe set font size. So let me say this. Set font size to a figure, right? Set font size to say 5. Alright, 5. That's easy, right? It means that anytime I click the login, I should set my font size, right, to 5, that kind of thing. So logically, you know that this makes sense and it's going to affect how the app should behave. So basically, this is what we'll be doing in App Inventor a lot, right? You have the designer and then this button, and that's how you're going to work. You design the interface first, you go back and then do the code, then you proceed with it. So let's say I want to build it or I want to run it on my emulator, right? So I hope it doesn't give me problems anyway. So let's wait for the emulator to start. Alright. So you have the emulator here, right? So it says it's starting. Good. It says it's starting. So my Android is loading. So basically I have the option to equally run it in my emulator. Is that okay? My emulator is just a visual of how an Android phone looks like and how the app is going to appear on the phone, right? So you see that I do this or I connect it to my phone whilst I'm developing. The option is yours. So my Android mobile is starting. It takes a while anyway. It takes a while. Okay, so let's just wait and see. So this is just an overview of what we'll be doing. I hope that's okay for you to understand and appreciate what App Inventor can do. I've used it to develop a lot of apps, like apps which takes information, apps which can open browser websites, and then a whole lot of things. So it's something that you would enjoy using, right? So it's about starting. So let's wait a little bit more and then see what it does. Okay. So 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Wow, this guy is taking a long time too. So the emulator is still loading. Alright, so it's pinging it to see whether it can get it running. So unfortunately we couldn't start it up. Let me see whether it can start it up. It usually happens that way, but when you try it, perhaps you won't come. It depends on the kind of things I'm running in the background. It takes some memory in order to load everything up. So it shouldn't be a problem. So you can try it anyway. So basically this is what the App Inventor interface does, and this is how you're going to be building apps. Thank you very much for this class. In our next class we'll learn how to build our first app. Alright. Okay. So stay tuned and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.